Hello and thank you for joining ContentoNowTV, the show that hosts authors from all over the world in order to reveal some secrets of behind the scenes of the publishing process of writing the book. And right now we are so happy to have with us here in our studios Shlomo Hoffert. Hello.
Hello, how are you, Nathaniel?
I'm great. How are you, Shlomo?
Wonderful.
And when you're talking about when the fat lady sings, listen. As continuing our last conversation, and now we can reveal that there is a new coming book at the right time. What is the main message of the new second coming book?
The book that at some point I would like to bring to the public's attention is really a continuation of the first book, in that the operas that I deal with, some of which I've dealt with in the first book, I deal with them from beginning to end. That is, the important thing to remember is that the composer is telling a story, and he's telling a story in his own way, in the medium of his choice, which is music.
Give me, please, an example of one story of one composer that you would like to let us and dig in together.
Well, let's say Verdi's La Traviata, a very, very popular opera.
Give us Verdi La Traviata as just one note from him.
It's the famous aria, da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. This is in the last act. It's a very dramatic point, but I would like to focus more on the beginning.
Okay.
In act number one, she meets a new suitor by the name of Alfredo, and she's very much taken by him. And she's not sure of what she really wants to do. She wants to be with him, or she wants to continue her life as someone who entertains the public in her house and soirees. And she says she wants to continue her former life. However, in Act 2, she finds herself, or we find her really, living with Alfredo. So the question is, what happened? What happened to her resolve? And the answer really lies in the music that Verdi has written for their second meeting in Act 1, where he says to her, look, I love you, I want to be with you, and she's really frightened because he gives her a very, very detailed impression of who he really is. He's not your ordinary suitor. And the music that begins all this is Undi Felice, and it goes something like this. Undi Felice vereo da 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 dee da 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 da. Now this is followed. When she answers him, she answers da da dum pum 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 yum da dum da dum da dum. Now she could have done any number of things. She says to him, "Listen, I really don't know much about love. All I can offer you is friendship." But in the music itself, you hear something else. You hear someone who is even frightened, even a little bit wary, and someone who, for the moment, wants to escape.
Where do you understand?
I understand
that it's sort of wariness or fright?
Well, I understand it from the music that Verdi wrote for Alfredo, but he could have written something else. He could have written a very simple version of Alfredo's music. He could have written da 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 dee da 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 dee da da pam pam, which is a lot simpler. Now that it indicates the person's ordinary. It's an ordinary melody, straightforward, nothing too sophisticated. Violetta had so many suitors, she could pick any number. And the person like that, she would simply throw away. Her answer would have been da 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 dum bum bum bum, very casual, almost saying the same words. But her da da dum bum da dum da da dum da da dum da da dum, you can almost see a springbok, which is a kind of deer in the wild, running away from a cheetah, for example, really frightened. She really isn't sure. And in the course of the act, she hems and haws, she's not sure, then she resolves that she's going to continue her life. But that's not what really happens. And I think Verdi did this specifically and on purpose.
On purpose?
On purpose, because he's telling a story. This is not a simple person, neither is life. And we have to really pay attention. And this is really the story of opera. Opera is about people. The composer is telling us a very real story. The story is very important. And it begins at the beginning of the opera, and it ends at the end of the opera. And if you know what to look for, and how to look at it, and to listen, and to really feel the music, then you understand the logic behind the story that Verdi, in this case, gives you about this very, very complicated relationship.
So it means that when people are listening to you in lectures, in encounters, in Israel and at the right time around the world, understanding your passion regarding opera, regarding the composer, it's like you're telling them, listen exactly to what is underneath the text, that the music will lead you through the right angle and the understanding of the story?
Yes, it means that it is a very intricate art form, and that is complete. It has music, it has words, it has feelings. All these things contribute to the enjoyment, and that is really the genius of the composer, that he's able to use his music and to tell a story, something that a Rembrandt would do with a picture. He would use different colors, the color schemes, the combination of colors, the brush strokes, the thickness of the brush strokes, all these, the expressions on the face, all these tell a story, and he does it on purpose. Same thing with a Michelangelo, the same thing with an operatic composer. And you can go to Verdi, and you can go to Puccini, and you can go to Massenet, and you can even go to Wagner, if you really want to. But it is something that is worth going into. Like any other art form, the more you know, the more in-depth you go into what you see, the more you appreciate, and the more enjoyment you derive out of it. Absolutely.
Shlomo Hoffert, could you please share with us the secret of how you personally became so engaged with opera?
Well, as I grew up with a father who sang in the chorus of the Israeli opera in the 1940s in Israel. And I even went to rehearsals sometimes. I must have been 4 or 5, maybe even 6, and went behind stage. And later on, as I grew up, I identified with my father, became very interested in the vocal art and his voice and the type of voice. And slowly I was exposed to this. And in talking with him and discussing all kinds of aspects of the art of singing, I was drawn to opera, and continued that for over 50 years.
And if your father would have been reading now When the Fat Lady Sings, Listen, what could you imagine would he say?
I can only hope that he would say, go on with it, and really go and explain it the way you really understand it. Because once you do that, then you have a real deep appreciation for what the composer's abilities are and his genius and how he connects with life. Because a composer is just like any one of us, with all the feelings.
Shlomo Hoffert, I want to thank you so much for joining us here again at the Contento Now studios and revealing much more deep inside regarding your passion to opera and making the opera more close to a variety of people in readers, lecturers, readers of posts on Facebooks and variety of social networks. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
My pleasure too. And if you have any questions regarding opera and that you would like to engage personally to the book on Amazon, to Shlomo Hoffert, please don't hesitate. Just click throughout this variety of social network or just pick the phone or throughout our website and we'll connect you to Shlomo directly. Thank you so much for joining ContentoNowTV.